Okay, guys. So, playing the pig a lot today. She is not an easy killer to understand how to play, as well as what her main strategies are and how to play her effectively. To be honest, I don't know how to play her effectively yet. But first time I recorded, I tried recording 3 or 4 different videos, and I couldn't get anything that I wanted to work until I realized that her concept is not necessarily to trap people and kill them in the game, but rather to stall. She is very much a disruptive killer. So really quick, I want to go over her, the pig, the survivor, Detective Ward, and then go over their perks really fast, and then just show you one game of killer gameplay, and then I'm gonna have a separate video with survivor gameplay against her. And then eventually I'll get a video of the new map. If you get one and the same, great, but such is life. So, first and foremost, here's the pig. She's got 3 perks. First is Hangman's Trick. This is the perk you want to take against saboteurs, basically. So if you think that you get people coming in with 3 or more toolboxes, this is the perk you're going to want to take perfectly because hooks destroyed by sabotage or sacrifices. That's important, right? Because there's no other thing that can make hooks come back from sacrifices. Repair automatically after 30, 20, and 10 seconds based on rank 3, rank 2, or rank 1. So basically, after 10 seconds, if a hook's sabotaged, it comes right back. So if you're in a map that has sparse hooks like Shelter Woods, or just in a bad spot, and people, I don't know if you guys have this happen, but I have it happen all the time where people realize that there's hooks missing or hooks that have been saboed, and they go and they die in a corner because they know there's no way for you to get them to another hook. So this basically says hooks are up all the time. Really good against saboteurs, really good if you think that, if you have bad luck with maps and hook placement. So, secondly, is Surveillance. I think this is the weakest of the 3 perks. It unlocks potential in one's aura reading, so it's an aura perk. The last 1, 2, 3 generator auras are indicated in white up to, is it just 16 seconds? Hold on. Let's see. The pig, Dead by Daylight. I'm pretty sure the 16 seconds stays the same. I'm not positive on that. Yep, 16 seconds stay the same. So you can get 1, 2, 3 regressing generators. What that means is that when you hit a generator, so you break it, and it starts doing the countdown, for 16 seconds you're going to see it in white across the map. So if you're good enough, I guess, you can watch the generator, and if under 16 seconds you notice the white aura disappears, it means that a survivor's working on it. I think 16 seconds is way too short. I think it should be up to 30 or maybe even a minute. Just having it be, 3 generators. I don't think you can break 3 generators in 16 seconds. Like it just seems like a really poor decision to have it be um, 16 seconds. It just seems one, the perk itself is not even that attractive. I mean, you're giving up a perk slot to basically say I want to watch to see if they're working on a generator, which can work really really well if you're in that mid game and you have one just survivor down and maybe 2 generators up, and so they're bouncing between 4 or 3 generators, and you're bouncing between them and seeing them. But 16 seconds is too short. But that's what it does. So when you break a generator down, it turns it white instead of the traditional orange outline. And then for 16 seconds it's white, and then it goes back to orange. And under 16 seconds it goes back to orange. There's a survivor working on it. Last but not least, and this is actually the perk that I think makes this killer so cool, and is definitely one that I plan on using with killers that don't have an auto knockdown, like Hillbilly, the Cannibal, and the Shape, Michael Myers. So make your choices. When a survivor rescues another from a hook at least 48 meters away, and that is 48, 40, and 32 meters, 32 at level 3, make your choice triggers. So once every minute, and getting somebody up in a minute on a hook is pretty common, so cooldown shouldn't be an issue. But basically, every minute when you're that far away from the hook and someone's rescued, the rescuer gets put into exposed status. Exposed status is what NOED and Michael Myers level 3 and all that stuff is, right? It's where you can be downed in one hit, no matter what that hit is. And so you get, basically, it's like reverse borrowed time. Instead of saving somebody on the hook when they can hear your heartbeat, when they can't hear your heartbeat, you become insta-downable for 1 minute. After that minute, you're safe. There is no tooltip indicator to let you know which survivor this is, so it is, it's chance. So if you get 2 of the same survivors, you see them both running up and you don't know which one got them off the hook, it's one or the other is going to have that option. It's not all of the survivors, it's just the one that saved it. So still, I think it's so cool. One of the things that I love about it is that it does encourage, one, that killers shouldn't be near the survivor when they're next to it, which the only other perk right now that does it is Devour Hope, which is a hex which can be broken, which makes it weak in my sense, but this is constant. So you put somebody on the hook, you immediately go after another survivor. As soon as you see that killer get saved, or the survivor get saved, you don't go after the person that got off the hook, you go after the person who most likely saved them. And when I was playing with this, I've done about 8 games today, and this happened more often than not, that I was chasing a survivor, had no idea that he was the choice, and I would hit them, and they'd be auto-downed. I was like, oh, what a pleasant surprise. So, these are the 3 perks for the killer. We're going to bounce over really fast to Detective Tap. And so, he's underwhelming. It's not surprising that, again, with Quentin, his perk sucked. He's got like Wake Up, he's got Vigil, garbage. The only perk he has is Cool's Pharmacy, which is good for farming green medkits, and you search through chests faster, I guess, which is good for. I would run Pharmacy maybe if I was doing like what's that thing when I'm farming items. But Detective Tap once again does not have overwhelming perks. His perks are set to counter Ruin specifically. His perks are set to counter being near the killer, but the killer can't see you, I guess. And then the first one, which is the only one that I think is cool, is called Tenacity. So I'm going to do them in backwards order because, again, the last perk is the worst in my opinion, and the first perk is by far the best. So Stakeout. Getting close to the killer fills you with determination for each 15 seconds you are standing, and yellow text is the one that changes. I'm going to go look him up because I can't remember what the level 3 is, but Detective Tap Dead by Daylight. Just because I want to see the level 3 of each perk. Okay, so, getting close to the killer fills you with determination for each. So it stays 15 seconds. I apologize. So for each 15 seconds, you're standing within the killer terror radius and not in chase, which basically means you can hear their heartbeat, but you are not in chase, which means the killer hasn't seen you. You gain a token up to a maximum of 2, 3, or 4 tokens based on what level you have the perk at. What Stakeout does is that every time you get a good skill check, it counts it as a great skill check. That's literally it. So this works really, really well against Ruin. That's the whole point. Because Ruin denies all good skill checks, right? You get a regression, where great skill checks get no bonus. So what you would do is you would get some of these tokens built up and be able to go work on a generator while Ruin is active and online. Now, 4 of them. For how many times Ruin procs, you're going to be able to finish like half of a generator. Maybe a full generator if you're really lucky and you don't get skill checks for it. And then my understanding is great skill checks don't consume it. So basically you can kind of like aim for the back end of the skill check and then you're Gucci. Good to go. But that is Stakeout. That's it. Really weak perk. One that I don't see being used right now or ever. Unless they up the ante on like great skill checks healing people. Because the percentage that you break off of the bar by getting a great skill check is minimal at best. And I can't think of anything that you absolutely need to get a great skill check on. It's just usually in benefit. It's easy enough to do. So moving on is Detective's Hunch. Unlocks. It's an aura reading ability. Whenever you complete a generator, within 32 meters, the auras of generators, chests, and totems within 32 meters are all revealed to you. Basically, it gives you the map for 15 seconds at rank 3. You get to see all the totems, and all the chests, and all the generators. Maps only show you the generators you found, whereas this shows you all the totems. So, again, this is to counter totem perks. Like, you're not going to have trouble finding generators. Chests have specific spawn points, and you also can run, if you're chest farming, you're going to be running scavengers. So that doesn't do you any good. So really what it does is it shows you where all the totems are within 32 meters for 15 seconds. So when you break a generator, or when I break it, when you finish the generator, you're going to be able to go out and find the totems that potentially have, a perk attached to them. So again, this is probably one of the worst perks. I mean, it's not. It has more freaking ability than Wake Up does, or Vigil. Like, I mean, I guess Vigil has some claws, but not really. Like, those two are pathetic, but this is really, really close. I hate this perk. I think it's lame. I don't think it has any value in the current meta, or will it ever have value in the meta. Last one but not least, Tenacity. It is not a strong perk, but it's a cool perk, and I like cool perks. It is a unique perk. It's a separate type of gameplay. It depends on what kind of killers you're running into. So, this perk is one that I would run for myself because I'm very aggro against the killers, and so, like I take a hit when the killer's chasing somebody else and he chooses not to stay with me, it allows you to crawl faster and recover while you're crawling. That's the big deal. Recovering while you're crawling is a cool concept. So instead of having to hold still, be in the place that you are at, you can continue to crawl while the killer chases or does his own thing, and you're healing at the same time. So, I think that's cool enough that it could warrant a slot in the current 4-slot system because of the value that it has in taking that extra hit for somebody else, or if the killer is, you're playing in a group and the killer wants to knock all of you down, plays that greedy gameplay, then this is going to have benefit because you're going to be able to book it. I mean, 50% faster, that's actually pretty significant. I don't remember the meters per second as far as your speed of crawling, but I mean, you get 10 or 15 seconds away from the killer, and that's pretty much all you need to run away. And if they don't have Deerstalker, that's, even though you're loud, you have a good chance of getting away from their radius, and you're going to waste a lot of time with them looking for you. Or best case scenario is they stop looking for you and you get away. And then this chalks up. It goes 30, 40 to 50% as far as the speed. So you up that ante by 50%. That's pretty impressive. So this perk right here, I'm going to play with and try out. I mean, obviously I'll try them all out, but this perk is the one that I see kind of having fun with from time to time. It would replace. Whatever you have in the slot, like No One Lives Forever. So like it could replace Iron Will. It could replace Dead Hard if you don't want to run with the run perk, I guess. But that's completely up to you. So anyway, those are the perks for the killer and for the survivor. So the way that the pig works is the active ability is that you get two things. And it's very important to make a distinction because one of them is significantly more powerful than the other and is actually what makes the killer really cool. The other one is just man. So the fact that you can use an active ability to assume a crouching position. The pig has no terror radius. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Michael Myers has a terror radius. It's about 4 meters, 5 meters long. And so when you walk next to a generator, you hear that dun, dun, and you know that that Michael Myers is close enough to you. And so many times when Michael Myers is trying to, pull the sneaky tier 1 hit, you'll get the Halloween music indicator long before that. With the pig, that's not the case. I can go stand next to a generator behind a wall, and I can hear them working on a generator, and I can line up my attack to where it'll hit them, and they would have no clue that I'm there. Unless they're, it's through a jungle gym or something like that, and they can see me around it. But, 75% of the time that's not going to happen. So, the ambush is like a medium nurse attack. So basically, you jump up, you let out a tiger's yell, which is really strange. But there's a tiger roar, and you swing your dagger out in front of you. And it's got a decent... So not only does it have a length, but it also has a lunge to it. So even though you get to the end of it, it'll swing regardless of where it ends. Unless you come in contact with anything beforehand. Survivor or the wall or something like that. It'll have a lunge at the end period. So even the couple times that I thought that I'll never hit somebody, it does a swing at the end. It's just long enough in its lunge reach that it'll catch them. So, the second interaction, which I'll explain while I'm playing her, but the create a little between it's going, is the reverse bear traps. So the pig starts with 4 bear traps in her inventory. Wonderful, we get to 4. Tap, we get him in. But so reverse bear traps can only be put on dying survivors, which is when they're downed. The way they trigger, if the bear trap is left on for too long while they're active, it will kill the survivor. It is an automatic death. If the way the reverse bear traps triggers is the time expires. That's it. And the 2 ways the times can expire is if they're triggered and they can't open them up, or they can't get a key out of a jigsaw box, which you'll see in the game. And then the other is if they go past the exit gate while the trap is active, it'll automatically kill them. And the exit gate is the doorway, not the actual, like when you leave and get hit and get knocked down. That's not the exit gate. The exit gate is the actual physical gate that you open. And that'll automatically trigger the timer no matter how much was left. So, around the map, so these masks are ticking time bombs, except if you're in the dying state. So if you're downed, the timer doesn't start. If you're on a hook, the timer isn't going. If you're being chased, the timer isn't going. And so what that does is, so it's like you can't follow somebody when they're at the end of their timer and just watch them die. I think, you know, they want it to be incentive. The killer, if he finds them, he should still be killing them and not just waiting the inevitable. But long story short, once you've got this mask on you, it doesn't start until a generator is finished. That triggers the timer. Once the timer goes, you'll get an indicator across the survivor's icon. It'll be red. The timer started. Then what's going to happen is you're going to start noticing these white boxes on the map. These are jigsaw boxes. They're puzzles. So from what I found out, 2 of them are fake and 2 of them are real. If they get to one of them and they complete the thing and it's fake, he'll start laughing. If they get to a real one, the trap comes off. And life goes on. So what this is, she is not very fast. She's about as fast. She's a little bit slower than to Michael, from what I figured. She's faster than the Huntress, but not by much. Her crouch is about as fast as the Huntress. So what we're doing here, get a team of 4, right? They're all working on the generator already. Fantastic. Here we go. So right now, to show you her attack animation, kind of her movement. Pretty standard stuff. There's dead hard. Okay, so breaking the generator. Glitch. Notice that that's the sound of breaking. My mouse accidentally hit my keyboard. I couldn't left of them because it didn't work. Let's see. So 2 people are down already. This is super, super good. So what's gonna happen when they're on the ground? I'm going to start putting on the mask, because what I'm hoping happens here is they're going to pop a generator while these are on them, which is going to trigger them. So you'll see that there's a timer over their icon here in the bottom left. You can't see me pointing and I don't have a mouse to show you, but in the bottom left you'll notice they have a stopwatch popping over their names now. And well, this is really bad hook placement. Anyway, so what's going to happen here is if they pop a generator and they are not on a hook in the dying state like they are now, like if they pop those right now, you'll notice that he's working at the jigsaw puzzle, realizes that he's not going to make it. But anyway, once the generator's popped, their timer starts. It's 2.5 minutes on the timer, which is way too long in my opinion. So we saved him. Let's try Bucko. He's gonna go back up. Now you'll notice one of my perks right now, the judgment thing, which is make your choice, is now live. So whoever saved Closet Pancake, whoever saved him is immediately downable for 1 minute. 40 seconds left. So I'm trying to see who that could be. Someone was close enough to me that whatever. What's up, hombre? Great use. Sprint burst. So for the next 15 seconds, if I run into somebody, they're going to be snackable. As you can see, people have already, like, it's day 1, and people, oh, there we go. So you'll see the guy that just got saved, and Closet Pancakes, now that I don't have them in chase, now their timer is red. What that means is that they are a ticking time bomb until they get the mask off. Our time's not gonna save you, Bucko. So what we're gonna show you guys right now, I've been following them. Now I'm in crouch mode. I am completely invisible as far as a heart goes, and you can tell. Right there, see that distance? So long as you control, you've got a decent ways to go. So double went down. That's 1 borrowed timeout. So you saw there the crouch kind of confused me for a little bit because it destroyed the heart radius. They just didn't have vision of me at the time, so it's a disorienting experience. It'd be like if Michael Myers immediately, went back to tier 1. Just kind of like, what the heck? There we go, and that's the point. And that is the strongest persona of Pig. Because you'll notice already, Closet Pancake has gotten his thing off. So now that timer is gone, done with, and there's nothing else I can do. Like if I put another mask on him, there's not going to be another one. So the kicker is that when people are on comms together, they're gonna tell you which one's the real one. So he's gonna know which one's the real one every time. So see, he's gone to this one because that guy was able to get the mask off of his head by going over there. Hit hard. So that's the concept of the killer, guys. The strategies that I've figured out so far. That's weird. Is putting these masks on does one of two things. One is it encourages them not to pop a generator. So people have gotten smart and they're starting to just do generators up to 75 to 99% whenever a mask is on. As soon as the mask is off, they start gen popping. And but the thing is that once someone has a mask on and it's live, the only thing they are focused on is getting to one of those white boxes and going. So you're stopping somebody from working. It allows you to patrol these boxes as well as the generators for a majority of the time. So that you can go and disrupt that and cause problems. But then also, I mean, the chances of them, you know, dying to that are pretty minimal, honestly. I mean, 2.5 minutes is pretty rough. So you notice this timer right here. Notice it's white, not ticking. It's because I'm giving chase. He's in the chase animation. I think that's got him up and running. So there we go. Got him ticking again. So he's focused on finding a box. So I don't have to worry about him. You'll notice these guys are popping gens now because they were saving them from when the guys had masks. So this guy was already popped. So I'm actually gonna pop one on her. It's the next one because you'll notice that Double got his off. Royally sucks. Not a big deal though. So, we all know how important that is. So all of them are working on a separate generator, which is just fantastic. So right now, my terror radius probably just nicked him. He sees me. Now I'm going to use this to, this is just to close that space. So Double's about to die here. I left him alone for that. Oh, that's happened to me before in tilting. The end of Dead Hard ends and the animation isn't completed. Feels bad. You're gonna die for it. But the thing about the pig that makes her, I think, strong enough to be a viable killer is this. So they don't see me. They have no idea where I'm at. So this could cause them to make an error. Do they heal? Nope. They've ran off. They've seen me. So now I'm gonna pop up. But this has helped me to create some space to get close enough to him to be able to, you know, start walking up. I think that the stealth aspect of the game is by far a superior component to your life. It's cute. She got the same lunge animation, or not lunge, but jump animation as what's his bucket. Ready? This little crouch jump thing. They recycle a lot of those to save money. That. Not a big deal. So, that is the killer. And there you go. Look at that. Decisive Strike 3. What a shocker. I would say I'm surprised, but I'm not. And I have one bear trap left. Now, bear traps are still useful in the last bit, even though a generator can't be popped, so the timer can't be pushed out. What you can't do is it forces someone to not... Basically, it's like a warden's key. They have to get it off before they leave, unless they leave by the hatch. The hatch is fair game. I need the down this guy before he gets to the gate. Well, it's a major bump. Leave. Oh, you done messed up, Aaron. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have a laugh. So he can no longer leave. If he crawls past that gate, he dies. If he walks past that gate, he dies. So we want you out of the picture, darling. You messed up, so I'm gonna kill you. But I have no more bear traps, unfortunately, so I can't trigger it out here and all that jazz. Basically, he is now susceptible. So T-Little can't go anywhere, which is probably the only thing that I really like about these traps, is that he cannot leave. I'm hoping that he tries, but it doesn't look like he's going to. So he's going to make an attempt at this bad boy right here. I'm going to show up. Say, hey, sir. Well, he's gonna go save her, obviously. Here you are. What's up, Ombre? You have to leave him. I apologize, but they're dead. You're the only one who's gonna live. Yep. Get out of here. Peace. Yep. Oh, yeah, you tell me, buddy. So, anyway, that's one of the cool things about her bear traps, and I think really one of the few actual uses for them that are, like, viable. Is you put that mask on them and they can't leave. Because obviously right there, you know, there's 3 survivors and the one guy's on the ground. 2 are just gonna, you know, constantly heal his body and then leave. And they're gonna crawl out. So that makes us which netted me 2 more kills. So that is how you play the pig. This start of the game was a little bit more aggro than I have done in the other games. Most of the time what I'm gonna do is like get behind, you know, some of this stuff. You can still see her head over these things, even though I can't see over them, they can. But you get to jump with them like this and try to close space. And then come at it like this. And so that's how you're going to play the killer. And that part, not the reverse bear traps, but the fact that you can stealth is probably the most powerful thing that you can do on this character. So, anyway, we get some definite friends here. Drop a nice GG. But that's how the killer is played. That's how the killer is attached to everything, and probably the best part about what she does. So definitely excited to see how she pans out. I haven't figured out what perks to take on her yet. As you can tell, I've got Strider and then her 2 perks right now just for fun. And then I've got Barbecue Chili. So yeah, anyway, that's the pig. She's kind of fun, and excited to see how she pans out.